Hi, I'm Stefan Kesting, this is Richie Yip, and what we got for you is a really important idea, a really important strategy that'll keep you safe on the street. Fundamentally, if Richie and I are squaring off, I gotta worry about a couple of things. He might punch or kick me, he might strike me, he might pull a weapon out, or most commonly, he's gonna grab me. If he grabs me, he can move me around. If he grabs me, he can hit me. If he grabs me, he can throw me to the ground. So now, if you take a look at a sport like judo, over the last 20 years, there's been a huge development in judo. And I don't have my judo gi on right now, but a huge part of the battle is about getting the grip. As soon as those guys get their grip, they throw. So when I started in judo a million years ago, it looked something like this. I'd walk up to the guy, he'd walk up to me, I'd get my grip, he'd get his grip, and then we'd fight from here. This is no longer the case. Like I said, over the last 20 years, a huge part of the battle is for me to get my grips and to deny him his grips. Also, when I've worked with smaller fighters and smaller martial artists, consistently they say that one of the most important things when they're fighting somebody bigger in a grappling context is to control the grips. So if I have a really good grip on Richie, I would say I got the 2-on-1 control. We're not going to go into the individual grips. This is more about the high-level concept. It's really hard for him to do much offensive stuff to me until he gets rid of this 2-on-1 grip. If I have a strong underhook here and controlling here, my head's in the right place, like I've talked about in the previous video, it's really hard for him to do something to me. From here, I can take him down, I can let go and hit him and come back, I can knee him. It's much harder for him to knee me. So controlling the grips is totally critical. So, yes, a lot of self-defense courses teach wrist release number 1, wrist release number 2. And that's all important stuff. But I don't think people realize how important it is. Because bottom line is, if he's controlling my wrists, and he's bigger and stronger than me, he can pull me all around. If he's controlling my wrists, I can't hit him. If he's controlling my wrists, he can punch, kick, headbutt me pretty much at will. Instead of being 50-50, it's definitely closer to like 75-25 in his favor. So, if you just become rabidly allergic to the grip, before you try and engage the guy in this range, stop him from getting his grips. Now, it gets more complicated when there's striking involved, but dominating the grips is still crazy important when there's striking involved. If you watch the UFC, if we're pinned up against the wall, if I'm controlling this and controlling that, he's really in trouble. Whereas if he's got a half-decent grip here, he can maybe take me down. There's not much I can do to him. And so, the take-home message here is learn your basic grip fighting, learn your basic grip pummeling, learn how to get rid of grips when he's grabbing clothing. And if you are ever in a confrontation, don't become so tunneled on grips that you forget about striking, but for sure, do not let the guy get a grip on you. If a big guy gets a grip on your wrist, gets a grab on your head, starts pulling your shirt over your head like a hockey fight, only bad things will happen to you, I promise. So your hands, yes, they're protecting against punches, but they're also doing everything they can to fend off the grips, to, when he does make a grip, to strip it, when he is coming around, to block it. Defending grips in a street confrontation is a huge priority. Regardless of whether the striking has started or not, he who controls the grips very often controls the rest of the fight. And subscribe. I'm putting out tons of good stuff on this channel all the time. You don't want to miss the next video.